everyone, super excited today to have some special guests from Europe on the Term Sheet Battle show. We've got Frederick Cassell and Tom Eric and Brad Ferber online. And we're going to go into intros with everybody, and then we're going to talk about the Term Sheet Battle event coming up, give you guys some insights and a little play on some term sheet terms, and then we'll see you at the event. So, Brad?
Well, first of all, thanks, Tim, for putting this together, and to Frederick and Tom Eric. We're excited about going to Oslo. It's going to be interesting. You know, the Nordic region has a ton of interesting technology, a lot of great stuff happening throughout the Nordic region, and we're really pleased that we were able to get Creandum and to get Tom Eric to participate in this program up in the Nordic region. So first of all, I just want to say, welcome, and we want to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about at the Term Sheet Battle, and in particular, I think maybe why there's this 3x liquidation preference. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's also go into a quick background for each of our guests, Brad, so everybody can get to know them a little bit better. You've heard of the companies that have been funded here and the companies that they've worked on, so please.
I'll turn it over, because I'm down in Copenhagen, but this will be one of my first times going up to Oslo for business. So I really hand it over maybe first to Frederick, and you can talk about what you're doing with Creandum. And congratulations, by the way, on the closing of your new round. That's fantastic for you guys. It's fantastic for the Nordic region. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about Creandum, and then same with you, Thomas Eric.
All right, thanks a lot, Brad, and thanks, Tim. Happy to be here. So as Brad mentioned, we just closed our third fund. It's a 135 million euro fund, and Creandum is basically a Stockholm-based venture firm trying to back the best entrepreneurs and ideas out of the Nordic region. We've been around for 10 or so years, and we're getting better and better at what we're doing. I think we probably still have some way to go comparing to some other funds in the US, but the Nordic region, as I think you will know, and as you alluded to, is really coming on strong when it comes to also when it comes to global winners, right? I think we can count in the venture portfolios around the world. We can count to almost 10 companies from the Nordic region that are unrealized, that have a valuation of above $1 billion, and it's pretty remarkable for a region the size of basically California population-wise. So very briefly, we're investing in the tech sector. My personal background is on the operational side within internet businesses, and I've been fortunate enough to work with a couple of great entrepreneurs in the Creandum portfolio. So I led our investments in Spotify, the music service, and Video Plaza, which is today Europe's largest video ad server, with Cint, an online market research marketplace. And also, just want to mention it, we just invested in Xeneta, an online price information service for the shipping business based in Oslo. So really excited about that.
So, Tom, what's your background?
Thank you, Tim, and thank you, Brad, as well for taking me onto this show. I'm really looking forward to this. And Frederick, I must say I recognize the names and the firms you were referring to, and the shipping industry and the oil sector in Norway, Oslo, are really strong. And for the last 5-6 years, I've been in particular working in the oil, gas, offshore sector, particularly the oil service. Been doing a lot of PE investment on the west coast. In the west coast in Norway, we have the strongest oil service field in Norway, but they're are headed normally out of Oslo. So my background is I'm a partner at the corporate division in Simonsen Fokken Wiig. It's one of the largest law firms in Oslo, specialized particularly in oil, gas, offshore shipping, IT, technology, and media. Prior to that, I was a corporate lawyer and a partner with an investment company in Oslo, doing seed fund investments and venture capital. We've been establishing a couple of firms together with a partner from mine. Two of them were, we had an IPO in 2002, 2004. The timing was, though, a little complicated, of course. You know all about that. So also done a lot of restructuring. I work today with the largest private equity firms in Norway. Also put on the board of directors in a couple of the portfolio companies, and really like to do and structure the deal. That is one of the most exciting things I do. Starting to discuss with the entrepreneurs and the VCs from the very early time, and being the person finding the path forward that the other people can't find. So that is a little bit of my background. 15, 16 years in the branch.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's go into the term sheet battle event, and Brad, why don't you lead the point that we're going to discuss today?
Well, we want to, create a little bit of intrigue associated with this, and for a lot of entrepreneurs, they hear about this concept of participating preferred or even, multiple liquidation preferences, and I don't want to, say what it is that that the Creandum firm or the mythical VC is going to present at the term sheet battle, but maybe you want to talk about what about these multiple liquidation preferences or preferred stock in general. I'll leave that to you. Is why do VCs do that, Fredrik? I mean, is that really that important?
I think it's it really merits discussion, right? Because I mean, from the entrepreneur's perspective, you could easily argue that liquidation preference is sort of protecting a downside which nobody aims for, and not many people care that much about. Anyway. So I think it's a valid question. We've never done anything like multiple times liquidation preference in our deals. I think that it is essentially a sign that the VC and the entrepreneur are either too far away from each other when it comes to valuation, and so you try to bridge that with some sort of artificial paying back the money first to the VCs multiple times even. And I don't think that is I don't think it's a very healthy starting point. I think when we invest in a company, we like to have a common view with the entrepreneur on what the value creation levers are within the next 18 months, and also preferably, roughly what kind of valuation level we can raise at the next time. And so if you're not in agreement on these things, it's going to be a challenging journey. And I personally think that if you do a 3x participating liquidation preference, you're probably not a VC, because you're trying to do sort of a low risk, mediocre outcome type of deal. And that's not, I don't think that is what will make any VC fund return 3 times the fund size, right? So that is just a few words on that from my perspective.
What about the negotiating side? Is there a standard kind of that happens in Northern Europe? Is that different than like in Silicon Valley? From the lawyer side, what would you recommend on your bench?
Well, I'm not all that familiar with Silicon Valley style, I must admit, but I think the Nordic style would be a very frank style that we go directly into the matters that really are the key issues right away. I would say that the typical Norwegian style would be that you are quite open in the discussion, and probably would not be kind of the polite style in the sense that we tend to say what we mean right away. And so we don't wrap it in, so the opponent has to interpret what the Norwegian actually mean. We start, normally plump out with it right away. But on the other hand, we're quite easy to read. And I would say that the typical Norwegian entrepreneur are a very hard-working guy with this pretty straightforward way of putting up his meaning. And from a lawyer perspective, I would say that the most important issues are to really focus on the matters of importance. That the entrepreneurs has to be aware of what is really important for them in a 5, 6, 7 years perspective. Of course, the pricing, but they normally don't have all that feeling, the right feeling about the pricing. The pricing would be a matter of negotiation, of course, but it is all these other technical issues. You were talking about liquidation preference, of course, Frederick. But by the end of the day, the total package of the deal has to feel kind of fair. So you could adjust on the 2 or 3 mechanisms, and that is okay as long as the total package is considered fair. So in that perspective, I'm a kind of a business lawyer that would like to also see that it has all the right business mechanics and in it, and not only looking at it in a legal perspective.
All right, it's pretty simple. You just go to TermSheetBattle.com, and there you'll see we've got events going on in Helsinki, Oslo, and Stockholm, 28th, 30th, and 31st. You just push the button, buy the ticket, show up at the event. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to hopefully learn a lot and be good networking. And then afterwards, obviously, some drinks and that sort of thing.